I'm John Newby, and I'm a Tezos developer. I was lucky enough to leave university after studying computer science when the web was in its childhood. So I went straight into an industry where everybody knew exactly the same amount, which was nothing. And then I worked for various startups. I ultimately sold one to Google and then moved to Berlin, and then I fell into the blockchain scene in about 2018. What drew me to blockchain technology was my friends who were working in it and who invited me to join them to make the software development kits for a new blockchain. Up to that point, I think I was a bit burnt out of technology and nothing had interested me for a while. But the blockchain kind of captivated me and was a whole new thing at a time when I really needed that. And through that, I kind of fell in love with the technology and with the culture of it. The opportunity to do new things in a way which does not have the dependencies that were present in previous iterations, maybe. So the programs which run on the blockchain and do not require any hosting infrastructure or even the continued existence of the organization that created them. I think this is a whole new thing. Yeah, I feel like the term Web3 and Web2 are not so helpful. I really prefer to talk about decentralization. And when we first started making websites, of course, we had to do everything for ourselves because there was nobody to do it for us. And so we didn't have Googles and Amazons, we didn't have the cloud, we just had the machines which we would put on shelves and plug into the internet. I feel like a lot of that promise was lost when things became really centralized, when Facebook and Google, when these huge tech giants took over the world. And I think we're getting back a little bit of the control that we had and of the ability for small teams to do big things which have enormous reach without having to have a huge marketing machine or a huge budget behind them. I think it's really important that Tezos is a proof of stake blockchain. I really despise the waste involved in proof of work, and I really like the on-chain governance and the upgrades, having been involved in a few hard forks in previous projects. Beyond that, the technology is really very good, and the people making it are extremely committed to quality and security. I think the thing that's great about Tezos to a developer is the extremely high quality of the software and of the software development kits. The ability to actually push transactions through with a realistic fee. So the ability to actually build big things and have huge numbers of people interact with them without having to spend thousands of dollars in transaction fees. And the knowledge that there will be a continuous stream of new features coming every 3 months, as regular as clockwork, which will keep the blockchain at the cutting edge of blockchain technology. And what I really want to see next is broad adoption and the emergence of technologies and user interfaces which permit people who are not so technologically savvy as normal blockchain users to interact in a way which is easy for them and in which they're able to be secure and to understand the level of risk and the level of security that they have. I think that's the big missing piece right now. There's tons of technology, but it's not accessible to the average consumer. We keep iterating on user interfaces. We keep educating people about what's risky and what's not risky. We try to be fully transparent and not to claim that they cannot lose their funds, for example, if they lose their key, but to make sure that we give them ways to secure their keys and to get them back in a manner which is understandable to them and accessible to them. So we need lots of developers, we need user interface designers, we need the entrepreneurs who are dreaming up the models and the people who can implement those models. We've had a lot of people join our team from a lot of different backgrounds, some people who'd moved to Berlin to start a new life, some people who were burnt out of careers in traditional finance. We're not the kind of team that you would get in a large company which had a big recruiting policy and was just after graduates with good degrees from Ivy League universities. We have people who have learned programming themselves. We've got people who are highly qualified. This is the kind of team that I really want to have. Some people who maybe have a very traditional background, some people who've come to us from somewhere totally left field, and everybody contributing in a way that makes sense for them. I would really like to see many more people who are not just sort of white tech pros. People who are not usually part of the tech scene, that would be very nice. More women, more people of color, more people from different backgrounds getting involved in this stuff, developing it, driving it, imagining new things and bringing them into existence. I really like the NFT drops that we've done and the public events that we've done because it's just been a joy to see people actually receive an NFT and have a meaningful interaction with the blockchain in real time. It really makes it worthwhile when somebody scans a barcode, or particularly when they scan their whole body, and then a couple of minutes later they actually have that right in front of them. I think that's been the part which has really driven home to me how far we have to go in educating people and why it's worthwhile.